What is up, everybody? Random Man here, and 2018 is just about over. I cannot believe how fast this year has gone by, which means it is time for me to talk about what my favorite movies are from this year. This year in particular saw me shatter my previous record for the amount of movies I have seen and reviewed in any given year, and that number this year is 62. Yes, 62 2018 releases I have seen and reviewed. 2 of them were Netflix releases, and the other 60 were movies I saw in theaters, which that in itself has also shattered my previous record for the amount of movies I have seen in theaters during a given year. Technically, I've seen 66 movies in theaters this year if you count the 6 carryovers from 2017 that I reviewed earlier this year for awards season. But nevertheless, this is another record-breaking year for me, and I hope to continue to top myself. Now, before I get into the nitty-gritty of this video, I do have a few disclaimers. One, I did not get to see every 2018 release that I wanted to see, even though, as I've said, I've broken my own record for seeing the most amount of movies in any given year. So movies such as If Beale Street Could Talk will not be featured on this list. I do plan to see and review that film just when 2019 is upon us. Disclaimer number 2, though I have seen the most movies in any given year, in theaters specifically, I will not be running down what my worst movies of the year are, just like I have not done in years past. Mainly because I did a pretty good job avoiding a bunch of stinkers this year. I don't want to go out of my way and see a bunch of bad movies just for the hell of it, because why waste my time doing so? However, if you do want to know what my worst movie of 2018 is, that honor goes to The Happy Time Murders. Congratulations, you were the only movie I saw and reviewed this year that I gave a score lower than 2 out of 5 stars, and it was such a lazy waste of a concept through dumbass repetition and unfunny satire. If you want to know more about why I really dislike that film, I will leave a link to my full review in the description, and I will also leave the links for my full reviews for all the movies that I mention on my ranked list and honorable mentions. Yes, you heard that right, as even though I have extended my top 10 list to a top 18 favorites of 2018, I do have several honorable mentions that I feel are worth talking about a bit, and this is my list after all, as the third disclaimer for my video is, naturally, this is all my own opinion. It is subjective. You respect my opinion, and I respect yours, that kind of thing. Plus, it's my list. I can do whatever I want with it and mention whatever movies I want to throughout this video. So here we go. My 7 honorable mentions for my favorite movies of 2018, which technically means this is my top 25 favorites of 2018 of sorts, are as follows. The Hate U Give, one of the surprises of the year for me, and one of the most meaningful teen dramas I've seen as of late. RBG, one of my favorite documentaries of the year, and one of a couple other docs that may or may not show up on this list. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Incredibles 2 and Ralph Breaks the Internet, 2 of my favorite animated movies of the year, and just like with RBG, one of a couple other animated movies that may or may not show up on this list. 2 winks and a nudge for that as well. Avengers Infinity War and Black Panther, 2 of my favorite comic book / superhero movies of the year, also 2 of my favorite MCU entries within that franchise, with Black Panther specifically having so much visual inventiveness with it and it being such a cultural phenomenon, and Avengers Infinity War also a cultural phenomenon, and it giving me, when I first saw it in theaters on opening day, one of the best movie-going experiences of my still relatively young life. And 8th Grade, one of the most stellar directorial debuts of the year from writer/director Bo Burnham, and it also being an exceptional dramedy film. So now, without further ado, let's get into the main entree of this video, my top 18 favorite movies of 2018. Starting out with number 18, The Old Man and the Gun. A laid-back, witty, and charming acting farewell from Robert Redford. If this truly is his final film performance he's ever gonna give, then writer/director David Lowery has helped him go out on a really good one. Number 17, Searching. John Cho is marvelous in co-writer/director Anish Chiganti's directorial debut, with it being visually inventive in how it is told with its setting and insanely gripping throughout. Number 16, A Quiet Place. My favorite horror movie of 2018, with it boasting effective sound design, powerful performances from Emily Blunt, co-writer/director John Krasinski, Noah Jupe, and Millicent Simmons, while also having terrifying atmosphere. Number 15, Isle of Dogs. One of my favorite animated films of 2018, in it being so immaculately animated through the use of stop motion, and it just being a fetching canine tale. This is trademark Wes Anderson through and through. Number 14, Love, Simon. As it says on the back of the Blu-ray here, it is a genuine groundbreaker, not just for it being the first major studio film to have a gay lead and a gay romance at the center of it all, but it is also a truly special movie for it being charismatically acted by the cast, it being lightheartedly comedic, and it resonating with dramatic heft, and not just being culturally relevant also, but also just straight up being a superb coming-of-age film. Number 13, The Miseducation of Cameron Post. This is one of two movies this year that I saw twice in theaters. Not just because I think it is a terrific film, but also it impacting me with its subtlety. Like Love, Simon, it is a movie with an LGBTQ+ subject matter that is tautly told, surprisingly funny, and potently relevant for all that encompasses it, with the lead, Chloe Grace Moretz, giving the best performance of her career. Number 12, Three Identical Strangers. One of my favorite documentaries of 2018. It is such an informatively shocking and twisted doc that reveals nefariousness throughout. The less you know about this movie going in to see it, the better, as even upon rewatch, it still got to my core for how messed up, in simple terms, this movie is. Number 11, Green Book. Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali are utterly delightful in co-writer/director Peter Farrelly's crowd-pleasing and timely dramedy that also gave me one of my favorite movie-going experiences of the year. Now we are moving on to my top 10, and at number 10 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This right here is my favorite animated film of 2018, with it being so inventively illustrated, exhilaratingly entertaining, and heartily wholesome throughout. This is also, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man movie we have ever gotten. Number 9, A Star is Born. No, I am not holding up the 2018 remake on Blu-ray. This is the 1954 remake of A Star is Born, starring Judy Garland and James Mason, that I am simply holding up for visual purposes, but you bet your ass I will be buying the 2018 remake on Blu-ray when it is released, as both of these films are my favorite versions of the story, with the 2018 remake in particular directed, co-written, produced, and starring Bradley Cooper, giving us such a raw, rousing, and ravaging retelling of the story. It is such a stellar directorial debut from Cooper, with star Lady Gaga in the other lead role, literally having a movie star be born out of her, while also boasting some music that has not left my head. Number 8, Widows. featuring my favorite cast of 2018, all of whom give amazing performances. This not-so-typical heist film is subversively dramatic while also grippingly packed with social commentary, all brought to us by co-writer/director Steve McQueen. Number 7, First Man. Director Damien Chazelle has done it again, bringing us an expertly balanced and euphoric biopic about the late great NASA astronaut Neil Armstrong, with Ryan Gosling in that role being rivetingly reserved. I also have to give a shout out to Claire Foy as his wife Janet. This was such an enthralling experience, especially when it got to that moon sequence, for which, if you did not see this movie in IMAX, you missed out. Number 6, BlacKkKlansman. This is the other movie from this year that I saw twice in theaters and clearly own on Blu-ray. Spike Lee's latest joint is his best in years. It is hysterical, absorbing, and provocatively timely, which does make this a contender for being one of the most controversial movies of 2018, but it is nonetheless a superlative satire on its subject matter. Poof, we're getting into my top 5 now, and at number 5 is Paddington 2. And as you can see from the sticker on the Blu-ray right here, it is certified fresh at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, making it the most well-reviewed movie on the site as of right now. But that is not the reason why I love this film. Just like the first Paddington movie, which I also love, Paddington 2 has a bunch of visual endearment to it with an immense amount of heart as well, that for anyone of any age who watches it will get a ton of enjoyment out of. I think it is virtually impossible to dislike this movie, and if you do, you have a heart of stone. This is one of the best family films I have seen in recent memory. Number 4, Mission Impossible Fallout. For me, as a fan of this franchise, ever since the third Mission Impossible film, each subsequent entry has gotten better and better, and this is no different with the 6th Mission Impossible film, Fallout, as it is proficiently written and directed by Christopher McQuarrie. It is consistently gripping and sophisticatedly witty. This is the best action movie of 2018, the best mission yet. Hats off to you, Tom Cruise, Christopher McQuarrie, and company for giving me the most exhilarating movie experience I've had in a theater all year. And just like with First Man, if you did not see this movie in IMAX, you missed out. Now we come to my top 3 favorite movies of 2018, and I'm stopping here for a bit to mention that briefly because these are the only 3 movies I gave my perfect 5 out of 5 star rating to, and at number 3 is Won't You Be My Neighbor, my favorite documentary of 2018. It is all the more special for me as this is the first ever documentary that I saw in theaters. It was also, for the longest while, the title holder for being my favorite movie of 2018 for a good chunk of it. I mean, for crying out loud, I dressed up as Mr. Rogers for this past Halloween, and that shows how much I adore this film. Though this film is now at my number 3 spot for my favorite movies of 2018, that doesn't mean I adore it or Mr. Rogers any less, as this is such an emotionally insightful retrospective on our favorite television neighbor. Director Morgan Neville has brought us documentarian perfection, with it also being a film that the world needs right now. We need Mr. Rogers more than ever, and we have to spread his good word that he was already spreading throughout his life. And this is a testament to all that encompasses this man. Coming in at number 2, my runner-up for my favorite movies of 2018 is The Favorite. Director Yorgos Lanthimos has brought us an absurdly hilarious, contextually devious, an aesthetically elegant period dramedy masterpiece that also has three of my favorite performances of the year, with Olivia Colman, Emma Stone, and Rachel Weisz all giving performances that are simply nothing short of phenomenal here. This movie also boasts my favorite ending moment of any movie I have seen this year that has haunted the depths of my imagination and soul and has got me pondering about it ever since I first saw it earlier this month. Now it is time to unveil, to reveal my favorite movie of 2018, the crowning jewel, the big kahuna, my top prize for the year. If you kept up with me on my social media, for which all of my links are in the description, you would already know what it is, especially if you've also kept up with my recent reviews, and one of them even being of a particular length, then you would know that my favorite movie of 2018 is Roma. To put it in as simple terms as possible, as I've already yammered on and on and on about this movie for 25 minutes in my review for it, by far the longest movie review I have ever done, this movie is, in my opinion, the greatest film achievement of 2018. It is beautiful, captivating, dense, and emotionally resonant throughout, with it being a personal tale as told by writer, co-producer, co-editor, photographer, and director Alfonso Cuarón, in it being about a live-in housemaid played phenomenally by first-time actor Yalitza Aparicio, giving my personal favorite film performance of 2018. It is the film that I have been the most passionate about ever since it got its Netflix release earlier this month. It encompasses so much of what is meant to be shown and told with the realm of filmmaking. Cuarón was able to express his Mexican background to such a T that it really got to me within my own Mexican upbringing as well, and telling a slice of history. I'm also glad that this movie is getting so much more exposure as of late, being an awards frontrunner and it reaching out to so many outlets across the world, that this is what is also meant for film to be able to do, in reaching as wide of an audience as possible. It is something truly, truly special. And it's one of the most meaningful movies I have seen throughout this decade for sure, but possibly ever as well, for what this movie is through and through. Roma, my favorite movie of 2018. Whew. And there you have it. My favorite movies of 2018. I want to give all of you watching this video a huge shout out and big sense of gratitude for either sticking with me throughout the entire year, or if you've just discovered my channel this year, thank you for watching all of my reviews and me reflecting on 2018 as a whole. This is my final video for the year, but do not fret there, as expect me to talk about more things related to movies in the coming new year. I love you all. Thank you all, as always, for watching. Be sure to like this video, comment your favorite movies of 2018, social media links in the description, subscribe to my channel for more, and I'll catch you on the next movie review in 2019.